All right, we are live.
Yo, yo, yo. I don't know why I said that, but I did.
Yo, yo, yo. What's up, everyone? I'm the Kaishin Okami from the Toku and Animation News Network, here with
Cruellica Kain.
and we are going to talk about the first episode of Kamen Rider Zeztz that is currently airing on Tokushoutsu. Obviously, we're not showing you the episode and have the audio muted so that we don't get a copyright strike or claim or anything.
Yeah, this is how watch parties are supposed to occur,
What?
where people can hear us talking while we're watching something.
And they hear the show too.
No, you don't have to have them hear
Well,
the
how
show.
are you supposed to enjoy the show if you can't hear it?
Most people, the trick is you watch the show before the watch party so that while you're watching it, you can give your reactions.
Whatever. But
That's how it's supposed to work.
no, it's not.
Yes, it is!
You're supposed to do it like live commentary as you're watching the show.
Well, then you need to turn the volume down so people can hear you. And you're terrible with live commentary.
But anyway, so our first premiere,
Wow.
our first episode premiered on Tokushoutsu last night at 10:30 our time, fully subtitled.
And that was the time it aired in Japan?
No, that was a couple hours after Japan. Which, it was pretty cool because we got it like just a few hours after it came out in Japan. One of our friends who lives in Japan had posted a little while earlier last night. He's like, the new Kamen Rider premiere was pretty good, but a bit confusing in the middle. I wish there were subtitles. So I was like, oh yeah, it premieres in America in a couple hours. And he's like, wait, what? I was like, yep, and it has subtitles. But he went to watch and it was region locked.
Oh.
So he couldn't watch it. So Japanese fans can't watch it on Tokushoutsu without a VPN.
Doesn't he have a VPN?
No.
Poor Robert.
So this is where we came in a little bit ago. But anyway, so the hard part, the cool part about Tokushoutsu is obviously you get to watch the show subtitled legally. However, there's a few weird issues. Well, not weird, but downsides to it is it's totally live. So you can't rewind, you can pause. But when you unpause, it jumps right to wherever it is at live in real time. So if you pause to go to the bathroom and you come back, the moment you play, it's going to jump to real time.
And you said when you were watching it with commercials, because my account for YouTube is commercial free. And I do that on purpose.
Yeah, so when the ad plays, when it comes back, it is straight up just at wherever you left off at. Or
not.
I mean, it's right wherever it is live.
Okay, so if you have a 2-minute ad,
you've missed 2 minutes of show.
So I guess it's the only benefit to having it re-air and re-air and re-air, as long as the commercial breaks don't happen.
The other weird part is because it's only about 24 minutes, obviously.
Mm-hmm.
So there's no commercials for the loops. So really, there's no set time when you can't say, okay, I'll be back at 1 o'clock to watch the episode. No, you have to look and calculate how far it is into the episode. But if you also haven't watched the episode before, you don't know then if you're to the end of the episode, at the beginning of the episode.
So it's not a perfect system, but
it's improvement over what we had. It just could be better.
Well, yeah. And I imagine there are people already, and I give them credit if they have found a way to do so, that have already hacked this so they could download it and upload it.
We'll see, but...
And if they didn't, I imagine... Now, the other frustration I have is when the police officers are chatting about the situation, they put subtitles up on the screen. And...
Well, same with his collection of books and movies.
Yes.
They list everything, but you can't... But if you pause it to read it, then you've missed the show.
So I would recommend, if you want to see like what each of the subtitles have to say,
like the police report,
maybe do one of two things. take a picture really quickly so you can look at it,
or just
later.
pause it in the replay.
And pause it in the replay, but know that you could miss future subtitles that you need to read as well.
Like the police report when she goes through like the 3 pages.
Yes, and so those, I still don't know what they say, and I'm hoping, I haven't looked in the World Wide Web, because I'm old, so I'm going to say it that way, to see if...
World Wide Web, you kids today.
You don't understand what the www dot means.
Oh, get off my lawn! Oh, get off my lawn, you kids!
My actual cane is in the
But
office. But it, for what it's worth, I am enjoying it. And so we've talked about just high level the streaming experience for those that may have not had a chance to watch it or are waiting for subbers to put it together. I will say there's this gentleman who speaks English multiple times throughout the episode. One, you see a shadow of him in the latter part of the episode. And all I can say is I want to see what he's going to look like, to see which...
Turns out it's Christoph Waltz as Blofeld.
Oh, Luffy. So let's go backwards. So the start of the episode takes us into this middle of this action scene. You find out that...
Well, some important celebrity has been kidnapped. The kidnappers demanded money. They got their money, and now they're going to kill her.
And so we then have this dude unsafety the gun, unlock it, and about to, and then we have this masked person.
Well, I did like the first person viewpoint of the masked person, where you see somebody's hand grab the knife from their point of view, look at the guy loading his gun, and then it goes to the opposite side when you see him going, "I'll take care of this," and he frees the girl, throws off his cloak, and it's this agent number 7.
Yes. But okay, you're gonna get a copyright strike just for that. Because even if you were a little off tune, they can still hear that shit. But nonetheless, he fights, and this action scene for this choreography, it's completely unsuited. It's just the actor, the actress, and then the masked goons all fighting. And it's done incredibly well, to the point where you just think you're watching a Hollywood movie for a moment.
Well, there's a couple things about that, both good and bad.
Okay.
It's very well shot, very well choreographed. I actually thought of Lupin the Third.
Oh,
with
absolutely.
the way it's done, and especially, it helps that Takahashi wrote some of those Lupin the Third OVAs or movies or whatever they call them. But I liked it a lot. However, the rubber bullets took me out.
The rubber bullets didn't take me out only because we're going with a hero who's cool, but it's not going to kill anyone.
Well, the hard part, though, is...
because it's for children.
Well, the rubber bullets just kind of pulled me out of there. And then when it was revealed, this is all revealed, then it's his dream, I was like, oh, that makes sense. But wait, if it's a dream sequence, why did you need the rubber bullets then?
His motif of who he is as a secret agent man. Secret agent.
Dream on. But
yeah,
the action sequences in the opening bit were really cool. I loved how, I think what really made me think of Lupin was the credits as like on the bullet as it's flying by. And
well, I have seen that in a lot of like modern movies these days, where they take advantage of utilizing the opening to tell you who the cast is going to be in a creative way.
Mm-hmm.
And so I really like that.
And I like that they had subtitled the cast name.
Oh, absolutely. because we, as an American audience, cannot read perfectly. I say this because I know he can read some hiragana and katakana and some kanjis, depending on what they are. I am not that good because I'm so out of practice. And there's others who may be able to read Japanese. But for the majority of us, heathen Americans who don't know another language very well, outside of barely knowing English, needed that. So I really appreciated all that they subtitled for the wider audience. I also appreciated when we get to him being awake and we see our main character's room,
with
all of the
James Bond like merch, the
Yes.
posters.
You had so many creative
movies.
titles for James Bond or Agent Zero in this world.
Hey, my titles are now going to follow that aspect for these live streams. I'm going to do You Only Dream Once, Casino Dream, or Dreamy Casino, or something like that.
But I do like the aspect that we're playing off of a secret agent motif, that he's kind of like a cop in a way, because I don't think in Neo Heisei or Reiwa so far that we've had a main titular rider be a cop.
Not since Drive, I think.
Yeah.
Well,
But was he really like a regular cop?
yeah.
Okay, so we did have Drive.
Yeah, we've had Kamen Riders, because even in Gito, you had G3.
I said Neo Heisei.
Oh, well, yeah, we had Drive.
And I forgot about that.
And, well, I was going back and forth with 01 because...
But he wasn't the main titled rider.
What?
Yeah.
Yeah.
The series is, and obviously we know he's not going to be a cop either, but so we go through this. He has to go in for this unemployment thing to help him get a job. So, well, we also meet his sister. I should say that, because she's the one who woke him up from a dream.
Yes, he was about to kiss
the girl.
And then the person pops up, wake up!
With a soup ladle. But I thought the dynamic between the brother and sister was really good. She is the younger of the two and is very protective of her older brother.
Is she the younger?
Yeah, because she called him Oni-chan.
Oh, yeah, that's right.
You don't typically call your younger sibling Oni-chan. And so we got that experience. He goes in for this job. What kind of jobs are you looking for? Secret agent. And I love the recruiter's response of, what? Like, that's not how it works, dude. But his goal in life is he wants to help people. The problem is, as we find out, that amazingly he wasn't isekai'd, that when he goes to help someone,
well, first, you just see this guy sitting next to this little girl, and then he says, hey, you want more of that? Let's go get it. And she just gets up, and so you're not thinking anything of it. Suddenly, a mother comes running around screaming for her daughter, and you're like, wait, do they not teach stranger? Like we had last series, Stranger Danger from the book, from what's his name when he met Gav, Shoma. This little girl, okay, and you're like, why would you just go with some random stranger?
Well, there is a chance possibility that maybe he was her dad and shouldn't have taken her off. There are situations.
He would not have bolted like that then.
Yes, he would have, if he wasn't supposed to have grabbed her.
So then, what is our main character's name? I just thought of that, like, wait a minute.
No idea.
I just thought of, like, wait a minute.
Should I look it up?
Well, I'm sure you'll say it on here. But I was just like, wait a minute. I don't know his name.
I just been calling him Seven.
They have said it several times, if I recall. I've just not consciously thought about it.
Well, no, I honestly, it's kind of funny because
I don't know. It just dawned on me.
I've just been calling him Seven because I like the whole nameless hero. Like, I know the chickadee is Nem, but his name is Baku Yorozu.
Oh yeah,
Baku Yorozu. And his sister's name is Minami.
Baku. Yes.
And then the police officer, his name is Tetsuya
because
Fujima.
Baku is part of the name for dream.
Oh, I didn't know that word for it.
Because oh god, Baku for the one. Trying to think of the anteater monster they're always using. Well, like an anteater, Baku. Oh well, I'm sure someone will say it in the chat.
So the actor who portrays the police officer in this show, the character's name is Tetsuya Fujimi, the police officer dude. He also
did we ever check to make sure the audio was working?
Yeah, I did.
Okay.
He portrayed the antique store employee in Golf. You remember when Lizelle?
Oh.
That's why he looked familiar to me. And then we have Minami. This is her first role.
But anyway, so Baku goes.
I'm still calling him Seven.
He runs to save this kid, and a yellow truck out of nowhere just speeds through and bashes him, trying to isekai him. But he doesn't work.
I know. I was like, pre-isekai.
And it turns out there was no driver. So, see, even the show, even reality wanted to isekai him.
Yeah.
Because...
Well, it just so happens that there's this guy
and so
walking around saying, let your nightmares come true. And that's where the
he actually kind of reminded me of the dude from Geo.
I know. And all I was like, I don't know how I feel about this because I didn't like Geo from everything I've seen.
But
because this is the writer for
01, Geats, and X8. Yes, Takahashi.
Well, I figured it was Takahashi after I watched the stuff.
His name is Seven.
Well,
Agent Zero.
I love all of that. Ren, what are you doing? Sorry, our cat decided he wanted to sniff something.
Oh, damn it, I missed the subtitles.
But he also has...
So, Cooking for Beginners, easy 10-minute recipes, find yourself, finding a job, manners for job hunting before you write your resume, getting your motorcycle license, the laws of lucid dreaming, realms of dreams, magic tricks to impress girls, do you like to save people, what it takes to help people, making your way in modern society, the modern man's duty to society, what to do in your 20s, a gentleman's manners, how to be a gentleman, the courage to sacrifice, the will to sacrifice, CIA training manual, agent in exile.
Okay, dude, let's just talk about manners and job hunting. Where is that book in the United States? And so he really likes this. And he likes the aspect of the lucid dream. For anybody who is not familiar with the lucid dream theory, it's actually very fascinating. It's this philosophy, and I'm just going to be very simplistic, where your lucid dream, elements of your dreams can become reality. So if you wish yourself, in a way, to become a hero, while you dream it, there's elements of it that could come into the reality aspect. That's why you have a lot of people, especially for those who have really, really big imaginations, that you also have to be careful of lucid dreaming because sometimes you will make memories in dreams that don't exist in the real world.
But so he gets hit by this car. And one thing I didn't notice the first time I watched it was the kidnapper is like at the top of the screen goes running off as the mother comes and grabs her child. So I had missed that part.
Well, and the problem is there's so much going on in the background of these episodes. It's actually kind of fascinating to watch. The reason why I thought he was her dad, like in America, it's not actually a lot of Amber Alerts are one parent who should not have access to the child kidnaps the child from the other parent. So the reason why she was willing to walk with him is because she knew him.
Maybe.
But he wasn't supposed to have access to it.
We can hope that's why.
That's kind of what I'm hoping. Not that that's good either which way, but the dream guy who says, now we can make our nightmares come true, he is so emo level crazy.
But yeah, so that we get this cop we're introduced to some cops. One is a brand new one from some paranormal thing.
Mm-hmm. No, she's a part of that.
But he starts telling her about these weird things going on, and she, for being part of a paranormal place, she doesn't seem to really care or believe him.
Well, that's because it's her first day on the job. She's probably the skeptic.
But I do like when Baku's in the hospital and her sister's like, you have the worst luck. And we see he's been struck by lightning. He was attacked by a shark. He got hit by a meteor.
Which is like 1 in a million chances. And all because each and every situation, he attempted to help someone. And so there's a philosophy that no good deed goes unpunished. This show is taking that philosophy and making it a literal reality. You want to do something good for the world? Good on you. We're going to make sure you barely survive.
But, so, what we've got, so he's dreaming, so finally, he's in the hospital, and stuff goes on with this really cool, there's this really cool door that she loved. That's like upper bodies on both sides of the door, upside down from each other.
Kind of like pushing out to keep people at bay.
Okay, so he ends up getting sucked into this dream and meets this guy that has like a revolver barrel for a head. Mm-hmm. It just made me think of Boone Orange from Boom Boom Ger with the way it looks. And he starts running. I really love the way they flowed, like all the sequences of him opening the door and being teleported to somewhere else. It's nighttime with a red moon, which you said made you think of Persona.
Yeah, it did. And while he's starting his dream, we also have the police officers doing their investigation, which is giving me those visual novel feels from like Danganronpa or Phoenix Wright or anything of those games where you have to do an investigation. So I hated Ixaid, even though I love video games, because it just didn't work for the nature of the characters. But if Takahashi wants to make a series where you're going to feel these elements of different types of video games as you're going through the journey, that I'm down for.
But so he's running from this guy that's just shooting at him, trying to kill him or just messing with him. And he finds himself in this room with this guy speaking English. His motorcycle's to the side, which I'll be curious if he rides for more than like 3 episodes. And he ends up getting his henshin device, which is actually a heart monitor, from what it seemed like.
Well, it's kind of a combination. I took it, so there's 2 things I took it as. One is kind of like the heart monitor because it took the heartbeat. But also, I took it as an element of something that a person could potentially use as a holster. It's not correct for a holster, but it could work as one. So I took it as like a holster for that whole element of secret agentness.
Oh, for his gun.
Yeah, like initially, the one really cool thing is when he's running away, we can tell it's a dream. He can't.
Oh, I do love when he's running past that one in the hallway with the open window, and as he repeats it, you see the monster just standing there against the wall.
And all I think of is like Scooby-Doo when they're running down the halls and it's like an infinite loop, it seems like. But it's amazing and fascinating how it works. And when he does discover or finally figured out it's a dream, he then changes into his secret agent motif. So it makes me wonder if that's going to be like his uniform.
From what it looked like, yes.
Which, if that's the case, that's pretty cool. To have like a uniform, somewhat like a police officer, and to have a structure.
Now, when he transforms, I do like the way the suit looks. I love the light up red on
which
it.
It looked kind of orangish the first
which
time.
made me think of Thighs.
Yes.
But I like the way the suit looks in action. It's kind of weird being one giant piece.
Well, that I like because, well, one, it seems like it's better for durability. And two, consistency-wise, it doesn't look like it's overly too much. Because the one challenge that Takahashi has for his series, and I don't know if he's the one who designs the suits or comes up with any of that as
no,
writer, but for the shows that Takahashi has been a part of, and a lot of Kamen Riders recently, is their suits become too busy. And I love me Kamen Rider, so I'm not saying this lightly, but sometimes they just become too much. So having this where it also feels like a uniform is pretty cool.
But like I said, I like how lights. I also like though when he first transforms, of how the eyes don't light up right away until he I forget what he does, and then it just slowly lights up.
Like the other thing that's pretty fascinating here is, I don't know if it's necessarily a good thing, but it actually shows the level of risk, because as he gets his ass kicked, he like suddenly drowns in a way, and he flatlines in the real world. So everybody is freaked the fuck out. And he hears voices, and he sees these voices, the people with these voices, kind of telling him.
Well, I think that's just his memories of thinking of people.
Well, yeah, telling him he's making a mistake, that he's not doing it correctly, that while you're alive, you essentially are a dead man in a way.
But so then we have our fight, which was a bit brief.
But I think that's necessary.
Still pretty cool. It helps. Again, I love nighttime battles. So I'm hoping we get a lot of night battles in this show.
Being that it's a dream type series, at least from this presentation.
But it also, I'm curious to see because obviously now they've got free reign to do whatever they want with their green screen room. And obviously they've used it for King Oger. And while sometimes it will look off, I am curious to see what they
take advantage of.
Yes. Like I do like when he kicks the one monster and the monster goes flying through all these different backgrounds and stuff. But I will say there is one weird transition.
Okay.
He's standing there in front of the goon or whatever after transforming, and then it cuts and they're outside.
Well, I'm taking it because, as you can see, there's an element where he kicks at him. So I kind of feel like, being that it's a dream world, he owned and changed.
No, that I'm fine with, but it just felt so
sudden.
Yeah, it was just a weird cut for me. It was just like, what? Okay, that's like whiplash.
But I really do want to see if they make this dude look like Sean Connery, Daniel.
Good evening, Mr. Bond.
Because whomever is doing the voice may not be the same person who is physically there. That's the one thing you get to learn about Japanese shows is it's not always a 1-for-1. They're really good at hiring somebody to be the face. Kind of feels like a Rocky Horror moment to me half the time. Because the actor who played Rocky could barely speak English. So he just mouthed the lines and we had somebody else do it in the background. So I just am curious because the actor who's doing it sounds like, this doesn't sound like a native English speaker because you can hear an accent in the background. I know you don't hear accents, but I hear a slight accent in the background. So I don't think it's like an American or something like that. I think it could be like an Aussie or someone of Asian descent who speaks English very fluently. And it's going to be exciting to see how they play this off because from the way this first episode went, in my opinion, they're definitely going to go into this whole mysterious
Well,
thing.
I do have to say, it feels like they know they're premiering it in America, so they're trying to make it appeal to American audiences just as much as Japanese audiences. And you really get that feel that they wrote this series with the plan to simulcast it.
So do you think they knew about simulcasting that? Because have they recorded episodes in advance? Like, I don't know if they're still doing that.
Oh, I think that's their new model now. Because Gov was done, I think, a few months ago filming. Because I think that's their new model now because it gives them more time to,
clean things up and shit?
Yeah. And who was it that they were...
Well, also probably gives them a buffer if something bad were to happen, like another pandemic.
Well, and the only downside to that is obviously if there's a character that doesn't resonate with the audience or vice versa, you can't change it.
Well, yeah.
Which sometimes is not a bad thing because I still think O's would have been better off if they had gone with their original plan and didn't let the audience dictate where they change the direction of the show.
Well, and sometimes audiences don't like a character or resonate with a character right away. But after you have an opportunity...
Or you have where they completely change who the main villain is because this random character that shows up becomes so popular.
Well, look at Geats in a way. I imagine they probably did something where they did some recording in advance. But there were a lot of random characters that would come up. And because of how well they did for the storytelling, they stayed. Now, I will say, having Stacy stay in Zenkaiger, just because of popularity, is not necessarily a bad thing. Even though they misutilized him terribly.
But so, yeah, I do love the atmosphere of this fight with the fog going on in the forest, outside of the building. But so he wakes up and then finds he has the device on his chest. He's like, it wasn't a dream.
No, you were terrible. Can you do a girly scream as a dude? No, he was like, do that.
I can't do that.
You can't. You don't have an overly deep voice. That you should be able to do it.
I can't do it because my throat's dry.
Oh, here, you want some water?
No, this.
But it was actually quite hilarious. So he looks down. He opens his robe. He sees the belt, and he's like.
Now, one thing I was noticing is the monster a wolf because it looks like he's got ears like a wolf.
I was wondering if it was kind of like a combination of
a wolf gun.
Yeah.
Oh, I will say when the monster turns into the butterfly, it made me think of Boogie Pop Phantom.
See, think of how many references we have, and we haven't even meandered a lot either.
But I do like, but yeah. So I will say I was confused on the paranormal lady though, because she just like quits
once again, this was her first day
I know,
on the
but
team.
I'm just confused on that whole transition for her.
I personally think she is just highly skeptical of everything.
Yeah, but I'm just saying the way that the first episode I liked, but it was but there were little things I was just like, okay.
Well, and maybe there's just things that are going to be coming up later.
Oh, anyway, we should probably go through comments.
Okay.
Because we have a lot.
And for everybody who just sees I'm doing some crafty stuff and things like that, the reason I'm doing that is because I'm in immense amounts of pain, and that just helps me get through it. That's why I have this ice pack on my leg, which I'll be switching to the other one. The full Kamen Rider Zeztz review will be coming out in 2040. Right, hubby?
Yes.
Udis. I watched that episode. It wasn't as good as Doubles, but it really started out strong, full of surprises every 3 minutes. Oh yeah, Double is kind of that detective type. How am I forgetting about all of these? And I watched and enjoyed. I quit. To me, the fight was the worst part. And Udis says, "Good evening to you both." And it's fair. The fight.
Oh, and Justin and Udis, hello.
Hello. Same thing with Nick Cooper. Hello. And BA Games. Hello.
Star Wars fan.
Hello. I'm on time because I finished the newest episode of One Piece. I am so far behind on that. And you just watched it this morning out in Brazil. Sometime later, they will release a dubbed version. I will be curious to see if in the States they will do a dubbed version, because that would help bring in some additional audiences that are not fans of reading, or for those individuals that are visually impaired, that don't know Japanese, but still want to enjoy it. That's the one frustration I have about certain niche markets like this, is because unintentionally it does alienate.
Well, yeah, because dubbing would cost a lot of money, and they don't have the funding for that.
No, and I understand and appreciate that, but sometimes it does alienate new audiences that are not great readers, not fast readers.
I know.
And so that's something I hope. I think it's awesome that in Brazil they're doing that. And I do hope in the United States that maybe if this is something they're simulcasting, they can try to take advantage.
We'll see.
And do it as well. If they don't, that's their choice. But I still think it's alienating.
It took them people. They didn't start dubbing Ultraman until Blazer, so
I know. And Star Wars fan says, I'm not really feeling like watching it on Tokushoutsu's channel. I'm still gonna watch it on Tokuzilla.
Don't know. I will say though, at least play it on Tokushoutsu when you can, so that you can still get them with the views.
Mm-hmm.
Because the more the streams are watched, the more Toei will say, okay, possibly even TV Asahi, okay, and they'll start easing up on what?
TV. I just want to see something. TV.
Acts on
Yeah, because right now there's about 240 people watching.
And last night when I had it on to look at the chat, there were almost 2,000 people watching. And
when I came on first thing this morning to turn on YouTube to watch something different, there was about 500 people. So yeah, it does help. Even if you watch it on a different channel, it helps with the algorithm and performance for.
And then they said every 5 episodes will be available on demand.
And then so Ricardo says hello.
You.
They asked, how was the beginning of Zeztz for you? I'll say I've enjoyed it.
I liked the premiere more than I liked Galv's premiere.
They really liked it. Dragon Zeron says hello.
I think, actually, for all the Kamen Rider premiere, for the Reiwa era premieres, this is probably the best first episode.
Oh, absolutely. I will say this is even better than everybody else we've watched. And I liked the kid who knew stranger danger.
Well, that's what I'm saying. Because Gav's first episode intrigued me, but it didn't wow me. Obviously, Goddard's first episode was so bad we never continued the show.
And Star Wars Fan says they checked the guy who was speaking English on the wiki, and it says he was on Garl. So that makes sense. I'll have to look into that a little bit more. Ricardo says they really liked it.
What is on Garl? You don't think it's the German dude who was in the 01 movie, do you?
Maybe
the guy from Ghost?
Mm-hmm. That could be possible, because he spoke really good English. And that would make sense of why it had that tinge of an accent that Americans don't typically. We have accents, I know that. I have a New Yorker accent, just like he does at times.
I have no accent.
You do at times to other people.
I have no accent.
Well, David sounds like, or one of her friends sounds like he's British when he's not.
No, he doesn't.
You don't hear accents, so you can say no, they don't.
You can hear some accents.
Yes, if they're very heavy.
Like
when we were watching Lock, Stock, and Two Smoking Barrels, when they were like super into their Welshness and Scottishness, then you had an accent.
No.
Yes, you did. But moving on, because I'm not going to get into this dispute with you again.
Oh, damn, I forgot to pause it again in his bedroom with the other books.
So then we have, where there is light, shadow lurks, and fear reigns. God, I didn't think about that. You know, the narrator.
Oh, it could be that one too.
And then Dragon Zeron says, I thought it showed potential, but I need Takahashi to not have producers doing.
Did you say Dragon Zeron said hello?
Yes, I said hello.
Okay.
To that.
Hello.
And Eunice says, Night, sorry, you are fine. Kevin Jones, hello, says they were really taking advantage of the dream theme. I totally agree. Then Star Wars says, I'm going to guess that this season was inspired by Persona 5. I thought that too. Because of how popular Persona 5 has been worldwide, with the thieves aspect and everything, I wouldn't be surprised. And if you hear a random beeping in the background, our ice cube maker has taken a shit.
So, do you think the main villain will be named Cruddy Nuger?
Really? Go home. Oh, Kaide is the little girl's name, not Coward. The rubber bullets are an accurate thing in Japan, per Dragon Zeron, as most of the time they don't use real guns. No, and that's kind of what I was thinking as well, is because of the fact that they are really anti-violence. Why do you think they have the smallest amount of, murders? But when they do have murders or terrible fucking things happen because of people, they definitely go to the limit. And Star Wars fan says Dreamfinger.
Yeah, you can do.
Kamen Rider versus Freddy Krueger.
Hold on.
That was Grant Awa that says that. So, hi, Grant.
Hey,
hi, Kamen Rider.
If Crystal is just watching right now, you can have Octo Dreamy instead of Octo Pussy.
And Eunice said, I found out recently that Spade Ace's actor, Yoshitaka Tamba's father, Tetsuro Tamba, was in a James Bond movie, You Only Live Twice, as Tiger Tanaka, an ally of Bond, who has an army of ninjas. Yes. And if you haven't watched You Only Live Twice,
it's really good.
It's really good. And they have two different Japanese actresses. One speaks really good English, one speaks passable English, and they should have reversed their parts because the one who speaks passable English is the one who's supposed to speak the better English in the story. But they were really good for what they did.
Because one of the girls is from some of the Godzilla movies.
Yeah.
Akiko Wakabayashi.
And Dragon Zeron says, I do hope that they keep the cast small for this show because too many cooks in the pan could hamper the story. Basically, too many cooks in the kitchen.
Yeah, I get it.
But I agree. That's the one thing that Takahashi is really bad at. And I like Takahashi's 01, except for the auxiliary movies, and Geats. And I will say...
Too many characters.
He has too many characters. And right now in the first episode, if you think about it, going into that mindset, we are already introduced to 6 characters.
So I'm thinking about this more. Yeah, I actually don't like the cops in this episode. I think they would have been better saved for this plot line of the cops.
Mm-hmm.
I think it would have been better saved for the second episode.
Well,
the more I'm thinking about it, these two really just feel they just take away from the flow of the first episode where, yeah, we could have had him still there when he sees Baku getting hit by the truck, but we probably should not have actually learned who he was until the next episode.
Well, I am going to kindly say there was probably a method to the madness of having this done.
I know. The biggest thing is, Baku, it says right there, is I feel like they brought in too much exposition. That's all they really were in this episode 4, was exposition dump.
But I'm kind of hoping if they did the exposition dump here, that going into the second episode, we don't have an excessive amount.
I don't know. I just feel like they would have been better off saved for the second episode.
Kamen Rider 64, goodbye Gov and hello Zeztz. And the A Game says, what are your guys' thoughts on the Gov finale? Or will a stream be planned for that? So
we just actually talked to Silver Quill. He is good for us to do a stream on Wednesday.
This upcoming Wednesday, which is actually, I think, September 11th.
Is it really?
Mm-hmm. I think
can't
so.
Be.
How do you think it can't be?
No, 8th, 9th, 10th, Thursday is the 11th.
Oh, yes, you're right. Okay.
But, yeah, so we were just talking to Silver Quill before we did this live stream. So
we've had so much going on, and he as well, both family and personal, just like us, that's why it's been delayed. But I won't get too far into it, but I thought Gob was solid.
I loved it. I loved the finale.
And when we get to talk more about it, we'll really go into it.
So Wednesday, 7 p.m. Eastern Time.
5 p.m. Mountain.
Is when we're planning to do the live stream for Gob's finale. So be there for that, hopefully.
And it'll be posted for everybody to know.
Well, obviously I'll post it. We just have to figure out how to be able to do it with him.
Well, let's not talk about that in the stream. All right. The Yuda says, and the thing about that surprises me is the belt says his rider name as Jets. Yeah, I noticed that too. It kind of gave.
Well, that's because Z has the jet sound, just like Jew Ranger. Go Juger.
I know. It's always funny how it does.
But I didn't even think about it, but it's ZZZ, as in sleeping.
Oh, the other police officer, the woman, was the actress for Kamen Rider Lopo, the Wolf Rider from Geats.
I'm trying to remember.
I think in the second half of the series. The taller woman. Okay, the woman who is more I think was more athletic for her sister. That was an athlete.
The one who was doing the stuff for her family.
Yes.
Okay.
That's who I'm assuming. I'd have to look it up. Did you get an European indie film vibe with this show? Per Dragon Zero, they're asking. Because some of these scenes scream like Dutch angels and stuff, like an art film. I can see that. I actually do get indie-ness from it because the way they're doing a lot of the filming is not always traditional Japanese filming. Like for the whole spy thing. What, baby?
I must have misread a subtitle on his hospital bed because I thought they had his name different on the subtitles for the hospital bed room than what they just had him in the dialogue. But
and then Yuda says, weird that it's the writer's mentor appears as a shadowy figure, unable to see his face. That happened to me a few times in my dreams. Well, it does. And that's the thing I like about these dream sequences is they're imperfect. And the one thing that we really haven't seen a lot of is like written words where we have to look at them because the story has always been, and I've never tested this, so to speak, but words are backwards in dreams in a way because you're looking at in a mirror perspective.
Oh.
Like you can't read a book in a dream.
Okay.
I don't know the reality of it.
I don't think I've ever thought about wanting to read a book in a dream.
And Takahashi seems to be a big fan of slim technology, like Marvel-esque. And Yudas, oh my God, you are going to be perfect friends with Silver Quill. The dream motif reminds me a lot of Jungian philosophy. Well, I don't know. Admittedly, I myself don't know a lot about. I know Jungian because I've taken philosophy classes in college, but I've never synced with Carl Jung all that much. I'm more of like a Nietzsche person, so I'll have to look into that, but Silver Quill would be a good person to talk to.
So Dragon Zenon says they record months in advance for Chinese censorship.
Oh, that makes sense.
Not familiar with.
Well, no, if you honestly think about it, that makes sense because they censor a lot of American films as well. That's why there's only a limited number of American films that come to Japan because they can censor it.
Yeah, but what? Well, whatever.
Well, and it would make sense if this show airs in Japan. The Chinese want to make sure they can make their adjustments wherever it needs to be done. How do you guys know? Hey, how do you guys know cut content or original ideas that were planned to be used in Kamen Rider series but got scrapped?
Sometimes they're posted online.
Yeah, it's we don't have that much of an in. I know sometimes he'll talk to August, and August might mention random things even on his posts, but usually it's public if they have some sort of feeling towards it or anything like that.
Or like the Japanese wiki page will post reports from various magazines.
Now, obviously, we take everything with a grain of salt. We can't take everything as fact because
there's no way to know for sure.
And as far as I was taught in the early days of the internet with Wikipedia, Wikipedia is not a reliable source.
It was funny. Somebody mentioned about Kuga being called Kamen Rider Gaia. And I said, well, that was the name for the series that was Shin Kamen Rider Prologue was going to lead into. So I don't know how accurate that is. And one person was like, well, this information came from the wiki page. I said, yeah, my information came from the Japanese wiki page, which came from the September 2013 issue, MOOC issue
Wow. So you're all one-upping each other on your wiki pages. Ugh. But EA Games says, so this ending begs the question, is Zeztz going to be fighting in the real world as well as the dream world? I was thinking we would be having exclusively dream fights via the promotion. So I am taking it as dream world.
Yeah, I was going to say.
Kind of like Philip K. Dick in an aspect of like that Do Android stream of electric sheep.
I could see later on they start merging the worlds. Kind of think of Digimon season 1, where the virtual world started coming into the real world through whatever portal it was. I could see that start happening. That the villain who controls the dream world, it wants to starts being able to invade the real world.
Well, if you think about it, that's kind of similar to like the Persona S. So in the game, most of the fighting takes place during the dark hour, where it's that time between midnight that takes place. Not between midnight to 1, just it's this hidden hour where all the fighting, and the dark hour can last in game essentially an hour, but as you're playing it and grinding, it can last 10 hours, depending on how much grinding you do. But I take that concept of the dark hour, and I really will say I don't know if I want it to go real world. I would like to see, though, the consequences of if somebody were to die in their dreams, how it affects things like that. And if they do play on this video game aspect of like Persona in a way, if somebody's dreams are invaded and Zeztz and whomever else are on the team can't get to that person, how they are physically impacted in the real world.
Haha, impact.
I know. And then Yudis says Carl Jung's psychiatric work involved live interpretations of dreams and a method of lucid dreaming he called active imagination. Yeah, I'm very familiar with the lucid dreaming concept because there's a lot of people who have taken beyond Jungian's thought process, but I like where you're going with this, and I'm actually curious if this motif of the series will be how to turn your dreams into reality in a way, since our prior series was living through addiction and recovery. Or people that have reading. Oh, yeah, for the
being dubbed.
Yeah, being dubbed.
Reading difficulties.
Sorry, psychoanalytic work. No, that's not a bad thing, Udis. I have to think of psychology for my work too, but I like where you're going with it. The lady in the ending didn't actually quit. They had a scuffle.
I know. She's just. I know that whole aspect. She'll be back later.
The A Game says this is Tokushoutsu. We aren't getting dubs, mainly just subs like any other rider show Shout TV has done. Sadly, no. I think it's definitely going to go that route, but.
That's why it's important to watch the show, to show Toei that, yes, it's popular enough, dub it as well for people who can't do subtitles. And
I think it's important as audience members,
now,
including all of
somebody
us
also rated,
to post.
Now, here's an good point.
Mm-hmm.
What about the movies? Will they let the movies be brought to like theaters in America, given the show is being shown in America?
That's an interesting one.
Because if the movies are like tie-in, as they usually do at times, how are they going to handle the movie releases? Will they show it in theaters in America, or will you're just SOL, even though you're watching the show legally now in America?
That's a great question. I actually don't know the answer because
Well, that's what I'm just thinking of.
Because if we think about it from an Ultraman perspective, they have not brought any of the movies for the series that have been airing in America to America
Until the Milk Crate Blu-ray.
Until they come out full series. So we as audience members don't get to experience those final aspects of storytelling for that
Except they did, Subaraya did put I forget which movie they put up. They did put one of the movies up on their website that you could rent for 24 hours at a cost.
See, if that's the case, it's not the end of the world because even if you're going to, because even if they brought the movie to America, you'd have to pay to see it. And truthfully, with Toei bringing so many of their movies to America through Crunchyroll or whomever it might be, it couldn't hurt because it's not like Shout doesn't have movies they own coming to theaters.
Mm-hmm.
Because of Studio Ghibli.
Well, G-Kids.
Yeah.
They own G-Kids.
So to not have that thinking, I think, is limited thought. But I guess I'll just say I hope they do, but I'll plan for them not.
Where are we?
So I think Zeztz will be in the real world eventually for Dragon Zeron. I still think adaptations are the best way to go, bringing Toku over here. Oh, like Power Rangers and stuff. I think culturally we've grown beyond that.
The problem is they don't take those adaptations seriously, and they're really not worth the cost of the budgets anymore.
And fans don't, like, if you think about it,
and
you also have to think about the difference between new fans and nostalgia fans.
Well, there's that, and the other problem is people always are doing comparisons. How does this compare to the Japanese version? And there's that audience that will only be biased towards one or the other.
Mm-hmm.
So I think at this point we're past needing to do the adaptation, the Power Ranger type adaptations. We're well past that now. Let's just do dubs and subtitles. And then if they want to do a Toku show, let them make their own Toku show. Let them do their own American original Kamen Rider series. That's 100% American original.
So Dragon Zeron says because we saw him with the belt in real life, it has to be obvious it come in real life. And it most likely will. I'm hoping it stays more dream-oriented, but you are right. You see the belt at the end in the real
world. I'm assuming the belt is there because that's his gateway. That's his gateway to go into the dream world whenever there is something going on in the dream world.
And the A-Game says technically they said there's 5 mini marathons that will be on demand.
Yeah, it'll be 5 episodes, every 5 episodes.
And that the beeping, they are questioning that wasn't from you thinking.
Oh.
They said, just kidding. Zeron is like, I do think they should lean into potential horror aspect and do jump scares. I'm curious. And the belt actor is named Jay Kabira, and he played the gambler Reijiro, who turned before.
Yes, that's right. Okay, the belt, in the first season of Garo, the game one, that asked
the gambling?
Yeah, that 12 birds went to this place, 6 went here, 5 went here, how many blah, 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 or whatever it was. That guy is voicing the belt.
Oh. Who might be Commander Zero.
I don't think he's Commander Zero, but he is the belt. Oh, shit. Damn it!
Yeah, you can't rewind, so it frustrates me. Yeah, it's September 10th. Let's see. And Dragon Zeron is behind like 20 episodes of Gov. Same with Gojuger.
Yeah, you're not missing much with Gojuger. Gojuger is...
Star Wars fan says Gov kept my attention, unlike Gotchard, which should really be the black sheep of the Reiwa era.
Hey, they're dealing with dreams. Now they could have Gotchard be an actual black sheep.
And Jess Hood, hello. First time starting Kamen Rider. And what a fabulous episode. Still wish they should upload episodes of Zeztz fully rather than this.
Yeah, we already talked about that. But it would be cool, but this is still a step in the right direction.
Yeah, it's hard because I feel like they're only going to give it to us in baby steps until we as an audience proves there's value in it. I saw that little argument a little bit on Twitter, but thankfully didn't involve myself in with it. Not sure. Oh, about the episodes and stuff. How did you feel about the band doing the opening thing?
What about the band? Well, actually, I guess I should bring up. So we listened to the opening theme last weekend.
Mm-hmm.
I liked it.
I liked it. I was just aggravated because it took forever to get so many other opening themes. And we got that one already. So he had to listen to me. After he starts playing it, I make him pause it, where he has to inevitably start over, because I had to go on a tirade about how Zetz's opening theme is being released quickly, but every other one takes bloody well forever. But no, I like the song.
My only problem is I feel like the song is really getting started when it's ending. I just feel like that 45 seconds in the song is when it really takes off, and then it's over. And it's like, but it just started.
And then from Zeron, I know Hiroyuki Sawano is considered a god amongst soundtrack creators.
Is he the one doing the soundtrack?
I guess so.
I thought Go Sakabe was doing the soundtrack for this again. The soundtrack for this show, the first episode soundtrack was incredible.
How did you feel about Nobuo Yamada's passing? He was Dragon Zeron's number 2 favorite singer.
I'm trying to remember. I know I saw it recently. I mean, it's hard for, like...
And then Kamen Rider 60... Oh.
Well, just... Continue.
Kamen Rider 64 and Udis. I'm going to kind of read them both together. So if it seems like I'm skipping anything, please know I'm not. But Kamen Rider 64 asks, was there an idea for Yuki that was planned but scrapped? Udis then shared about scrap content for Yuki. There was some artwork made allegedly by the original concept artist, which shows how it would be Kamen Rider Raya Survive and Kamen Rider Blue, the Pianist Rider.
Well, there were photos of Shiro giving the Odin belt to homeless people.
Mm-hmm.
So it was implied that Odin was actually homeless people taking the belt. That's why there were 3 of them throughout the series. I'm trying to think if there's anything else I've read that implied things that were changed, but I don't know that far. I didn't see anything major for that one.
And then Dragon Zeron about the movie coming to America raises a good point, which I already thought of as well, but didn't even think to mention, is that the movies will possibly be separate licenses. Well, unless they change what is allowed, it'd have to be a part of Western releases.
Well, that's what I was saying, though. Will they allow the movies to be licensed for release, being that they're simulcasting the show? Because there's anime series that they will release the movie at the same time in America because they're simulcasting the show. No! I missed this. Oh, well.
Just give up, Abby.
I keep trying to capture the police report that they put on screen so I could actually read what it says.
But I don't think we are going to be doing any more adaptations in America. No. I highly doubt will do any more adaptations, just because I feel like it served its purpose.
Well, I know Tony Oliver was telling me that there was a company that he had pitched an American adaptation of Garo with, where they would take the Garo show and replace it with American actors. And he had pitched a show to multiple companies, and they're like, no, that we're not interested in doing something like that anymore.
Well, that's kind of why I feel like it served its purpose.
And he's like, yeah, but it's for the adult audience, so the people who grew up on Power Rangers will watch it. And they're like, yeah, you have a good pitch, but we don't think financially it's worth it.
Well, I actually have to agree. As disappointing as it is for Tony Oliver, as one of the founding creators of Power Rangers, I know where he's going with it, and I respect it, but I also don't think it would be viable. And then the A Games says, I cannot wait for Masked Rider Zeztz coming out in 2002. And Jess Hood says, will they do English subs for the next Sentai on Tokushoutsu? I'm curious about that as well. I think that still comes down to Hasbro and how things go. Because nobody owns the technical license in America for Kamen Rider like they do with Super Sentai, which is why you have 3 different companies that have released things for Tokushoutsu: Discotech, Media Blasters, and Shout. Now, obviously, Shout and Discotech are primary entries into it. But since neither of them actually own a license to it, I'm not sure how that's going to work yet.
For what?
For, like, if this will continue.
Oh.
But if we look at it from the Sentai perspective, that's totally based on Hasbro, because don't they own the license for Super Sentai indefinitely?
Technically, Saban owned, until to Hasbro, the Super Sentai Master License. So they own everything Super Sentai related. That then there's been some debate. Well, what about the things that weren't adapted to Power Rangers in the newer sense? Do they still own that? But as far as I'm aware, Hasbro owns everything related to Super Sentai. So everyone has to go through Hasbro. Now, there are probably some loopholes you can do, because Discotech found a loophole to get Scheider for Space Sheriff. But it depends on how much of Dix Chris Cox wants to be.
And he's the CEO?
He's the CEO dickhead that runs Hasbro. Because he hates the Power Rangers brand, and he even said, I can't believe our original CEO wasted that money on such a shoddy franchise that is nothing more than a children's joke. Not his exact quote, but...
I was like, can I get that as a quote on the record of what he said? But
no.
And A Games also said, thank Hasbro for that. You never know, but as Jess said, you never know if they're doing it with Ryder. There's always a chance something could happen. The problem is contracts are not always public record, because there's a lot of classified deals in it. So unless somebody released a copy of whatever that contract looked like, or if there's somebody at Hasbro who has a copy of that contract, who's embittered and wants to release it publicly, that's really the only way we'll know what it says. Now, I imagine, based on the popularity of something like this, and Toei seeing the sales of all the other Kamen Rider series that have been coming to America and subsequently other countries, there is always that chance that they can renegotiate any contracts that are in existence, similar to what Subaraya had to do with Chayo and everything else. Now, obviously, that will never be the case for Macross because that seems like a joke. But moving on, so in Kamen Rider 64 asked this. So, guys, in your opinion, who are the best male brunette and female redhead duo? Scott Summers, Jean Grey, or Peter Parker and Mary Jane? Never thought about with male brunette and female redhead.
Well, obviously, Mary Jane Peter Parker is the quintessential definitive version. It's Scott and Madeline, not Jean Grey. Madeline is the true wife of Scott Summers.
By technicality.
Doesn't matter if she's a clone of Jean Grey. She is the true wife of Scott Summers.
I will say Black Widow and the Hulk from the Marvel MCU.
Oh, hell no.
I'm kidding.
Oh, my God. That was the dumbest thing that went nowhere.
I know.
That plot line has never been seen again outside of that one movie.
Well, yeah.
That just, it came out of nowhere and went into nowhere.
I honestly, I'll have to go
God,
with...
Age of Ultron was such a shitty movie, the more I think over it.
Moving on. The crazy thing with this opening is that the band behind it has some English incorporated with it. Yeah, I've noticed that too, A-Games. And then how the hell would a Garo American adaptation ever work? Poorly. Obviously, I don't know what Tony Oliver's plan would be, but it would have to be softcore porno in America to make it work. They'd have to do it on like Passion Flicks or something like that, because I don't know any other channel that would go to that level. I can imagine a Garo adaptation, Zaruba saying, "Aye. And then Zeron thinks, do you think we could ever get an Akiba Ranger season 3 or a movie or something adjacent to it? I've always wondered whatever happened to unofficial Sentai Akiba Ranger.
I think the ship sailed for a show, but I could see them doing some, because we should be coming to the anniversary soon, right? Or, no, we're past the anniversary of Akiba Ranger.
I would like to see...
Oh, they could always do a 15th anniversary.
Oh, just kind of fuck with it?
Next year.
Instead of doing a 10-year, do a 15.
Well, they already passed the 10-year.
I know. Instead of doing the 10-year,
do a 15-year anniversary for Akiba Ranger.
And if that guy who works at Hasbro hates the Power Rangers brand, he must be a real sore loser.
Oh, he is. He is a complete sore ass from what I've seen of. Every time he opens his mouth, he sounds like some douchebag who just got done. Never mind.
Yes, thank you. I kind of hope that Disney buys the Power Rangers brand again, but then allow Sentai to be shown in America. I could see if Disney were to buy it, because they're actually making their first official anime with Japanese creators. In an isekai-esque story with all of the villains.
Yes, which they all look like Bishojos.
Bishonins. Oh, some are gender bent.
Yes, but...
Because Maleficent is gender bent to be a guy, I think.
But they all look like Ursula is super skinny and stuff, taking away the point of Ursula.
Well... I am curious to see an actual trailer for it more than a poster of them all side by side where it's hard to get a feel. But I did think it was funny that they gender bent some of the female characters in the male and other things. If Super Sentai was...
I'm not going to watch it.
Oh, I have no doubt.
I'm sick of isekai as it is. I will not watch that.
I have limited love for certain isekais. But if Super Sentai was dubbed instead of adapted similar to that Aba Ranger dub, how do you think it would have fared over here? I think more and more, I don't know if it would become like a big thing, but I do think more people would have known what it is. Kind of like the one Aba Ranger episode that was in.
Yeah, I'm trying to think what you mean by. I'm not sure I understand. Oh, if Super Sentai was dubbed like that episode, I think it would not have done well.
And Percy Jackson show creators are also
working on the new Power Rangers series.
And dub Sentai in the US could be done if at least the voice actors talent dub like a cartoon, not doing fake Japanese accents. Oh God, yeah. No, if they try to do fake Japanese accents.
Or just hire the dub studio that's full of Asian Americans.
Oh, yeah, absolutely. Like with K-pop Demon Hunters. There's a lot of Asian American talent out there, or even just Asian talent for the voice acting community that are really well versed in English that could do it.
Which I'm surprised Prod Z has not become a part of.
Or even Kaiji Tang.
Well, there's a lot.
Well, there's a lot of them, but I think Hasbro could pull up Paramount and allow certain people to create different Power Ranger shows, similar to what they did with Star Trek. I have no doubt, but at the same time, I take nothing for granted. But since we've just gone through 2 full episode runs, 3. Oh, wow, yeah.
Yeah, we've done 3 full rotations of this episode.
I told you I didn't want to do it for 2 hours.
Well, we're not doing this for 2 hours. It's only been an hour and 20 minutes. But anyway, you're the one that's been... But
thanks. Blame me.
All right, so, yeah, in the long run, good premiere. I'm curious to see where the show goes. I hope it doesn't fall into Takahashi's normal tropes of having a corporation be involved in all this with a really eccentric CEO.
Oh, God.
And...
That's what we should do for the next one. Think of all the tropes Takahashi has for Kamen Rider and ask and beg and plead for them not to exist.
Especially if you... Oh, and no post-series content. He is not allowed to write any more post-series content.
No, because he is not to be trusted.
Oh, so apparently Nem is 20 years old. The pop idol girl that's kidnapped at the beginning of this episode, because it had 20 in the parentheses.
And I cared why?
Oh, I'm just saying because just as a topic point. All right, so that's pretty much it for Zeztz.
And Love Cub says, bye.
But now I just lost my thought.
Oh, Jesus, friends, shed it all over Love Cub. Or Love Cub itself is shedding.
Well, it is a demon. But
and a snake too, so.
Well, yeah, I lost. But anyway, what did you guys think of Zetz's premiere? If you weren't in the chat, let us know in the comments. Click like, subscribe, the bell notification, whatever else YouTube has you clicking and support us. You can support us on Patreon and Bluesky at tokuaannetwork, Facebook, Instagram, Discord at Kaiju no Kami. The website is creativitybydesign.com. There's more Kaiju no Kami merchandise you can purchase on the YouTube channel. And there are 2 GoFundMes, one for health purposes and one for to help the channel out, that are in the description below. Otherwise, until next time, bye. And be on the lookout again for Wednesday for our GOV live stream.